This lesson will be in audio only, so a good opportunity to turn inward and begin to tune in to yourself and physical sensation and kind of turning away from some of the outward distractions. And this lesson will be focusing on hands and eyes, and as we know, the hands and eyes do a lot of work when we are using the computer or using our cell phones, and many of us have been doing more of that lately, staying at home and doing more things online. So that's one thing about the hands and eyes, and the other thing about them is that both of these areas are very highly represented in our sensory cortex in our brain. So by relaxing the hands and eyes, the whole nervous system actually gets to calm down quite a bit. So you may find that the relaxation is more global by letting go of tension in these areas. So to begin, just as a short introduction this time, I've actually put a diagram of the bones of the forearm and the hand. In the image you'll see on your screen, you know, Feldenkrais, some of the benefits we find in this work is by clarifying what we're doing, clarifying the image around movement, and sometimes actually having a picture of the anatomy can be very helpful. So what you'll see in the forearm is actually there are these two long bones that run all the way from the wrist up to the elbow. There's one on the pinky side called the ulna and one on the thumb side called the radius. And they are made to rotate around one another. When the arm is relaxed and the hand, there's kind of a smooth and easy rotational movement that they can do. You can actually palpate those. It's easy to see and feel the two knobs right under your wrist. Those are the beginning of the two long bones, and especially with the pinky side, the ulna, you can really follow that ridge up all the way to your elbow. And you can do that with the thumb side as well, and the radius, although for some of us there's a fair amount of muscle there near the elbow, so it may not be quite as easy to follow all the way, but you can really get a sense of those two bones. The other thing you can see from the diagram is the bones of the hand. You know, there's the fingers, of course, but then in the hand itself, in the palm, there are these long bones, and there are spaces between those bones. And so just having a sense of the kind of space and length that's there in the palm. And these kinds of images may help you as we go along doing this lesson. So you can make your way to either the floor or the bed, whichever is more comfortable for you. The one thing you might need for this lesson, at one point we'll be putting hands on your belly, putting both your hands resting on your belly with your elbows on the floor. And if you think you'll need something under your elbows, please just go ahead and grab a couple folded towels, or of course some folded towel for under your head if you need that. Most folks won't need that, but if you think you do for your comfort, please provide that for yourself. So once you've settled down comfortably on your chosen surface, just begin to focus in on the contact of the back of yourself with the floor, the bed. Notice what parts of yourself are resting easily there and accepting the support. and what parts of yourself may be held away. You can just get a general sense of the contact of your pelvis, the space under your low back. What kind of contact does your rib cage make with the surface? And what about the space under your neck? How's that for you today? How are your shoulder blades touching and the space between the shoulder blades? And again, this is really an opportunity just to notice, it's not about judging anything or fixing anything. It's a great opportunity when we get it just to notice ourselves in a non-judgmental way. So let's try to kind of stay with that attitude of just being curious. And as your arms are lying there, your arms are down by your sides, how have you placed your arms? If you have them at your sides, do you feel contact along the whole length of your arm? Or are there parts of your arm that are held away from the floor? And how have you placed your hands? Are they facing upward towards the ceiling or down to the floor? Or maybe they're on their sides. And we all sort of naturally make choices about what's comfortable there. And again, there's really no right or wrong, but we have preferences. So just notice what's comfortable for you. So please go ahead and bend your knees and stand your feet on the floor. And then please take your hands and raise them up and place them over your eyes so that you're gently covering your eyes. Your fingers will be facing upward towards your hairline. And do that in order to gently block out all the light. So you're just, eyes are closed and you're looking into the dark there. And notice as you do that, does it look really very dark, very black, or are there spaces that are lighter? It's very common that we see flashes of light or patterns or movement, sort of little mini fireworks there. And that's the optic nerve, actually, that's still active. These kinds of lights that we see, if the optic nerve was very quiet, it would be totally black. There's no light coming in. So just notice, where's the really dark, smooth, black part there? And kind of just resting in the blackness. And then keeping your eyes closed softly, remove your hands and bring them down by your sides. And again, notice how you place them. What parts of your hand is touching the floor, what parts of your arms are touching. And that may be different on the left and right. Do your arms rest in a similar way? Maybe the left and right shoulder are resting in a different way each side. And now take your hands, and whichever way you've chosen to place them, switch them to the other way, just to see. If you switch them, if they're up, turn them down, or vice versa, and is that equally comfortable for you? And if it isn't quite as comfortable, see if you can see why not. What's different about that? What is it that makes you say, no, this other way is a little bit better? Is it something in the shoulder or chest, wrist? Could be anywhere, could be the face. What is it that says, oh, I just kind of like this other way better? Try a couple times and then go back to the way that you like the best. And then to begin now, choose one arm. We're going to do both arms. So whichever one you choose first is fine. Maybe if there's one arm that feels a little easier to move, you could choose that one. And with that first arm, begin to do a small movement of slowly turning your hand, first palm up and then palm down. Just rolling the forearm very, very slowly and gently on the floor there. And you can come back to that image of the two bones, sensing those two bones that run all the way from the elbow to the wrist. They slowly rotate around each other and really keep it gentle. This is not a difficult movement, so you're just looking for quality here. The first sign that it's a little bit less quality or smooth, you go back and you go the other way. Again, this is a great opportunity not to push. So often we are goal-oriented or trying to do more. Let comfort be your guide here. So notice which way is easier for you, up or down. Movement can be so small that it's almost invisible. Just the tiniest little movement, rolling the arm up and down. Seeing, can you sense those bones and letting go of any tension you might feel maybe in the upper arm, shoulder, the chest. Let your breathing be comfortable. It's easy to stop the breath or hold it a bit when you're focusing. So really let your breath come easily. And then pause and rest for a moment. And now take that same arm and bring it up so that the palm of your hand is somewhere in front of your face. Your eyes are still closed. Keep them closed throughout the remainder of this lesson if you can. So the palm is there in front of your face. And begin to, with your other hand, start to gently, gently palpate those two bones of your forearm. So you're just exploring, kind of being curious if you can see where the edges are, what's the space between those two bones, like you're sort of mapping it out for your own self-image with your other hand. You're not poking. Sometimes there can be tenderness there. So you're just kind of getting to know that area. And you can actually, with your other hand, the one that's exploring, you could actually take the two bones and passively, very gently rotate them. See if you can let go of the arm you've chosen, really let go of any tension there so that you can passively rotate it with the other hand. You can use the wrist as a place where you start, or you can use the elbow as a place where you start. Just gently kind of exploring that movement. When you've had enough of that, go ahead and let go of it and lay your arm back down on the floor. And very gently go back to softly rotating the forearm up and down on the floor. See if anything may have changed in your sensation of that movement, the quality of that movement. And let that go and rest. And as you rest there, compare your sensation in the two arms. Does the one that we just worked on feel larger or smaller, warmer or cooler? Do you have more sensation in that arm than in the other? And then go ahead and move on to the other arm that you didn't choose. And with that arm, begin to slowly rotate it. Very tiny movement, rotating on the floor. And just see If you can do that in such a small and easy way that you notice the first sign of it being a little bit less smooth. And when you notice that, you go the other way. It may be so small that you don't even go one way. Maybe going up or going down just doesn't feel right. So you just notice that and you don't go there. You just really honor what feels best for you. Letting go in your chest, letting go in your upper arm, your throat, and breathing is free. And then pause with that for just a moment. We'll take that same arm that we were working and bring it up in front of your face. Palm is facing your face, eyes are closed, and again, just use your other hand to start to explore the two bones of that arm. See if you can feel two knobs at the wrist, where the ulna and the radius come down towards the wrist, and then with your fingers slowly glide up one bone, the other bone. Sense the length and the shape of them. And you can go in between the two bones. And you can use your free hand to very gently rotate those two bones. See if you can just allow the arm you're working with to be very passive and just feel how it would be to easily, smoothly rotate. Just what's easy, just where you can. Again, the gentleness of these movements can make it easier to notice where we're holding tension. So maybe you're holding something around your chest, maybe something in the face, maybe the eyes, shoulders. These movements are meant to be very comfortable. So any tension you feel anywhere, see if you can let that go. Keep the movement small. And then bring your arms down, and once again with your second arm, gently rotate it softly and smoothly on the floor, and just notice if anything has changed in the quality or sensation of that movement. And then take a rest. Sense the way your arms lie on the floor and just your sensation of the length of your two arms. And now, please interlace your fingers very softly and put your hands on your belly somewhere. And this is where if you here you'll want your elbows to be resting on the floor. But if that doesn't happen comfortably for you, you can slide a couple of towels underneath your elbows or whatever support you need so that you can be comfortable here. But otherwise, just softly interlaced fingers resting on your belly, elbows on the floor. And then begin to take your hands and slowly rotate both hands so that they face a little bit upward towards your face and then a little downward towards your feet. So they stay resting on your belly. And again, you can really see if you can picture those two long bones of the forearms just rotating easily around each other. Again, this is a very small and gentle movement, and it's fine if one way is easier than the other. Don't push it. Let it be the way it is. Let yourself be the way you are and just explore what's easy. Making sure you're still breathing. Letting go of any tension in your neck or shoulders, your eyes, your face. And then pause from that just a moment and lift up one elbow. We'll do both, so it's okay whichever one you choose to start. And with that one arm that you've lifted a bit, begin to passively rotate the other arm. See if you can, with the one arm, just allow your other arm to be receptive. How does it feel to have those two bones rotate around each other? Just what's easy. The one hand is turning the other hand. And then place that elbow down and lift your other elbow. And again, try now with this hand. Just very lightly turn the other arm. And see if you can give that arm a chance to just be receptive, just to feel itself in movement. Not doing, just feeling, letting the other hand help move your arm for you. Feeling the rotation of those two bones. Letting yourself breathe easily. And then let that elbow down, and once again with your hands on your belly, go ahead and turn them up and down. See how that's feeling for you now. I'm going to pause for just a moment. You can rest your hands on your belly and just take a moment to rest. And now take your hands, you can softly take them apart so they're not interlaced. And with one hand, begin to explore the bones of your palm, the long bones that you saw in the diagram. So your fingers are fairly long, but these bones in your hand are actually at least as long, maybe a little bit longer than your fingers. And so explore, you can really feel those bones and see if you can sense the spaces between them. So you're not, you're not forcing space, but you're sort of allowing space. You're noticing the space. And if you feel any tension held there, see if you can just almost coax it in a friendly way so you can let go there. Just kind of getting a sense of what does it feel like between the bones of your hand there. And then when you're done with that one hand, switch it out and explore the other hand. Again, this is just to be curious. We so seldom take that opportunity not to try to fix things or accomplish something, but just to notice physically what's going on, just being present with that. And then let that go and softly interlace your hands again. Place them on your belly. And begin to rotate them up and down. And then switch the rotation so that the hands are going very small movement in opposite directions. One going up and one going down. So this is inevitably going to be a very small movement, but see if you can feel what's happening to those long bones in your hands. It's almost like a kind of like a piano key quality. You can cross one way, a little bit of a sort of a ringing quality. Softly, softly. Hands are just resting on your belly, going one way and then the other way. And then leave that and take your hands, both hands, and place them softly over your eyes. Fingers are upward towards your hairline. You're blocking out all the light. And notice what you see. How is the quality of blackness? How are the lights? How much of a smooth, black, soft quality do you see now? Are there more places that are sort of a quiet, almost a velvety black? And just let yourself rest in whatever you see. Let yourself rest. Your eyes aren't doing anything now. You're not going out towards the world. So you can relax your face and jaw, your breathing. Just kind of be in that place in the darkness right now. And then slowly take your hands away from your eyes and interlace them again on your belly. And keeping your eyes closed, of course, begin to rotate your hands slowly, just in a whatever for you is a soft and easy rhythm. It's keeping in that comfortable range, and then begin to, while you rotate your hands, start to move them a little bit away from your belly. So you start to lift your hands and arms a little bit upward towards the ceiling as you rotate them. And they begin to move a little bit upward in the direction of your head. So slowly, it's like you're moving them in an arc, but all the while keeping that softness in your forearms, keeping that gentle, smooth rotation in the bones of your forearms, softness in your hands and fingers as your arms move upward in an arc, and then they go back downward towards your belly, just rotating easily the whole time. And as you do that movement of raising your arms up, you might notice if there's some change in sensation in the back of yourself. Maybe between the shoulder blades, maybe somewhere else in the back. Next time you come up somewhere above your face, let your hands stay there for a moment, just gently rotating. And begin to move the arms and hands a little tiny bit left and right. Just what's easy, small range, and see if you can feel the weight shift on the floor. And just letting go of any unnecessary tension in your chest or your collarbones, your face, your belly. And of course, continuing to breathe easily. And then continuing to rotate your hands softly, bring them down and rest them on your forehead. And just rest them there and let them roll gently across your forehead. Feeling the rotation in the two long bones of your forearms, letting go in your shoulders and your upper arms, letting go in your eyes. And then take your hands and very slowly and easily roll them over your head and place them very gently underneath your head. So you're supporting your head in your interlaced hands in very tiny movement. Just roll your hands. See if you can just let go completely in your head and neck so that your head may actually be ever so slightly moved by your hands rotating. And then rotate your hands in opposite directions. Again, this will be very small. The weight of your head is on your hands, but see if you can feel, again, maybe there's a tiny movement that's suggested to your head and neck from your hands rotating. So go ahead and leave that and bring your hands out from under your head and take your palms and once again put them over your eyes. And rest your hands there and let yourself block out the light, just cupping your eyes so that it's resting in the darkness there. And notice the blackness now. See if there's more of a quality of a smooth blackness there, where there might be lights or patterns. The more quiet your nervous system becomes, the more quiet your optic nerve becomes, the more the visual field becomes kind of a smooth black, and the more your rest of yourself can also relax. So just rest in that place for a moment. And now, keeping your eyes closed, please bring your arms down by your sides and notice how you choose to place them. You can place them in the same way as you did at the beginning or differently. What's the contact of the back of yourself with the floor? Just take a moment there, and then when you're ready, keeping your eyes closed if possible, slowly, slowly roll up to sitting position. See if you can keep the softness in your hands and the softness in your eyes present with you as you come up to sit. And we do these things and find some relaxation. And, it isn't just for the 20 minutes or 30 minutes of the lesson, but, you can actually experiment with taking these sensations forward into your day. So slowly, once you come to sitting, begin to gently open your eyes, and not too fast. They've been closed to the light for a while, and see if you can play with the sensation of letting the light and the visual world just softly come to you. We do a lot of sort of going out towards the world, or almost peering at things. See if you can just play with letting your gaze be soft so the world comes to you and you can stay inward. And when you're ready, go ahead and come up to standing or walk around a bit and just see how it is to move through space after having done this lesson.